for Jenny Cader, who, as you all know, is just super talented, and it's an absolute joy to have her finally with us this evening. And we were having a little chat beforehand about some training and bits and pieces. So we're going to continue that conversation and say welcome to 30 minutes with. The clock is ticking. At 30 minutes we will cut off. And just tell us your story. How did you start this?
So I started permanent makeup in 2011, I think it was. And I had previously been sort of I was mainly doing nails, I think, nails and spray tans and eyelashes, things like that. And I'd seen somebody else get their eyebrows done, and I was like, that is what I want to do. So I literally saved up every bit of money that I had and was saving for ages. And then I just went and did the course, which at the time I think was about 10 grand or something. And then there wasn't really many people at the time doing it. So I was quite lucky that there was only a couple of us doing it at the time, like locally. And as soon as I did it, it was hard, obviously, at the beginning, but I loved it and just pursued it from there, really, and just became really busy with it, luckily. I think because it helped because I already had a client base already. So those clients that were having other treatments with me were then coming for permanent makeup. So it just went from one thing to the next. And yeah, been doing it ever since, really. I've had my own business for 15 years, the clinic. I've always been self-employed, but I've had the clinic 15 years, and I'm in my third premises. So I've moved a couple of times as well.
Oh gosh, yes. So tell us a little bit about the clinic that you have at the moment and anybody that you've got working with you.
So it's quite small, but it sort of does the job. It's in Hertford Town, and I've currently got 3 people working there. One is who's worked for me for pretty much all of that time, like 14 years, but she's about to go and have a baby. So the other 2 that have come on board do permanent makeup as well. So they're just now sort of part of the team and offering similar sort of treatments.
It's nice, isn't it, to have a little bit of a support. You're all in the same boat together, aren't you? Kind of thing. It's nice. Yeah. And,
and everyone's sort of they're part-time, so there's only going to be 2 of us at a time in there. It's because it's quite small, so we've got a room each, and it worked quite nicely.
Brilliant. Yeah, no, it's brilliant. You don't need big, you just need it to work, don't you? And obviously it works for you, which is fantastic.
Yeah, definitely.
So you won the permanent makeup Time to Shine competition, didn't you?
I did, yes.
Just when I came down to the final, which was so exciting. And congratulations.
Thank you.
Was very well deserved, I have to say. It was a hard competition. There was some super talented people in there. But you're the one that nailed it, weren't you? So yeah. you got there. So you actually did, you've actually got a module on for lips on the PMU Circle, but you've also, tell us a little bit as well about the lip. You've actually got a webinar, haven't you, for sale?
Yes, so I've got a webinar on, you can access it from my website, and then it'll take you to the online training portal. Okay. So I've got a webinar for lips. I've also got a webinar for combination brows, but it's a lot shorter. It's just more of like you just buy the video, whereas with the lip one, it's really in depth. There's loads of modules, loads of theory, machines, color theory, pigment theory, and like the full techniques, the full video really.
So what would you sets yours apart from a lot of other people's? Because everybody has their whatever strong points, so to speak, in their webinars that they do. What would you say yours was?
I put quite a lot into it with, I think the different modules, because sometimes obviously it is just a video, and I thought I wanted to give that a bit more information than this is just how I'm doing it. And yeah, I mean, you watch the whole thing from start to finish. I know like other people's do that as well. But yeah, just probably including quite a lot in the theory side to it as well.
Okay, brilliant. So so like you said, it's quite the one you have on your website is quite an in-depth version.
Yeah.
Right, that's brilliant. And would that help not a beginner, but somebody, would that help somebody who's fairly confident, or would it help somebody that sort of started on it and isn't very confident, or does it cover every base?
I think a bit of both, because the technique that I use is what I use now, and it's what I would teach now. Yes. Because I don't really do the same techniques as what I originally trained with, like 10 years ago, because obviously things have changed.
Yes.
So when I teach people, I literally teach them how I do work now. And that's just what I find, how I find the best retention and the best precision and all of that. So I do think you would definitely pick up tips, whether you're a beginner or whether you're already quite confident, but there's just a few things that you need tweaking. Yes,
brilliant. Yes, I haven't actually seen your module actually, but I've heard really good things about it. So
yeah, I've had some really good feedback, some good reviews and stuff, and a couple of the girls I think who have seen it on the PMU circle like privately messaged me and was like, this has changed the game for me. There's just a couple, even if it's just like a couple of little things that they've changed, and then they've just found their results have been that little bit better.
But that's fabulous, isn't it? Because the ripple effect is you feel more confident as an artist, and then the results that you provide for the clients are better, and then happier. It's just so much more satisfying, isn't it, when it all falls in place?
Yeah, definitely.
So the training that you do now in the clinic, we were chatting before, and you tend to not do as many beginners, and you tend to do more people established in the industry that need to upskill.
Yeah.
So, and is that 1-to-1, 2-to-1? How do you work that?
So I was doing 2-to-1, but I've refurbed the clinic and we've had another room built. So now really it's only 1-to-1.
Yeah.
And that's masterclasses on any area, to be honest. Apart from areola, I'm qualified in that, but I don't teach it. But mainly people do come to me for lips and brows. And it's just 1-to-1 training to focus on, and I sort of tailor make it to each person. Like I have a little bit of conversation to them, like what are they wanting to achieve, what do they want to get from the training, what are they doing at the moment, what do they want to learn, and then I just make it bespoke to them really for the day.
Yeah, I think that's absolutely fabulous. Yeah, I have to say I do a very similar thing, and I think that's fabulous, because you're not working with people at different levels. So yeah, absolutely brilliant. I love that. So how did you hear about Goldeneye?
So I heard about it absolute years ago. I don't know how long it's been around, but I must have heard about it probably when I started doing it. And then I know another girl who I think originally trained, I don't know if she trained with you or something. So then she spoke about it a little bit. She had your machine. And I was like, oh, that's interesting. And then when I joined, I think the PMU circle, it must have been, I was knowing about it more from there. And then I just sort of gradually sort of come on board with all the products and stuff. So it took me a little while to switch over to the pigments, but now I'm absolutely obsessed. And I bought another pigment range just before I think I then bought Goldeneye, and I've literally just ditched them all. I spent like £400 on a load of pigments, and I used them, and then I've got like halfway through them, and I'm not using them now.
Yeah, I have. So what do you think drew you to the range?
So to start with,
market, isn't it? So what drew you?
First of all, I liked like the ethics behind it, and I was starting to worry about what I was putting into people's skin, where before I hadn't even really thought about it, because no one ever said anything about it. And it was just like, these are the pigments, this is what you use, they contain this, this and this. And to be fair, I don't think my colour theory original training was, it seemed like it was in depth at the time, but I don't feel like it registered in my brain.
No.
And then again, doing things on the PMU circle really upped my game with that. And it was probably just like lockdown and just before lockdown when I really started to think about it a lot more. And then I think I used some pigments before. When was the time to shine? 2 years ago now.
Yeah,
Yeah,
2 years.
Yeah, I think I've been using the pigments since then, because I think I bought a few before that, liked them, but I hadn't tried the lip pigments. And then I bought, I think, the whole range of lips. Then I used the brow ones in the competition, and I was like, oh, this is different. Like, I really like these. And then I took the plunge, and then I've got everything now.
Yeah. I mean, I absolutely love them. Obviously, I love them because otherwise we wouldn't be doing this. But it's interesting to hear why people are drawn, different reasons why people are drawn to them.
Well, for me, it was also seeing and knowing about the healed results, because what was happening was I had used inorganic pigments originally. Then I went to organic pigments. And then, like everybody is probably going on about, they then was having people come back after a year, 2 years, and their eyebrows are so saturated and so dark because I was using them in the same way as inorganic. Quickly, obviously, learned that I was packing too much in, and people have got these brows that aren't going anywhere. And the colour was not true to what I thought it was going to be. So then I started to think, oh, like, this isn't how I want my work to be. It's too heavy. It's not my style. I don't like the healed results. This doesn't, it's not natural. And that's when I've made the transition. And I literally, as I say, I'm obsessed. I can't go back. I just love the healed results. And every time I get a client come back for their top up or whatever, every time I'm like, yes. I've like each time. And before I was a bit like, oh, that's gone grey, or that's gone too warm.
They're very forgiving, and I try and say to people, not all organics are the same. It's like some are more like tattooing in the fact that
they're the ones I was using.
They're so hydrophilic, they're so water soluble, but you can put a drop in some water and it doesn't just, apart from the black, it doesn't just shift. You have to give it a little swirl. It's not like the iron oxides where you have to really, really mix it for it to go in. So it doesn't go deep into the skin and stay there forever. If you work superficially, it'll be superficial, So it's fantastic. So what's your favorite treatment?
So lips is definitely my favorite treatment. It took me a while to get there. I used to hate lips. It's probably my worst treatment. I always used to do brows because obviously I used to do loads of brows and I used to think that was the best thing. And then once I had extra training on lips, I did about, I don't know how many courses I've done, but I didn't just stop at my original training. I've done loads of different masterclasses with different artists and cherry picked different things out of their techniques to create my own.
Yes.
I've done a couple of online ones, like from Tess Tattoo. I've done hers, I've done Jasmine's, and I've gone and had masterclasses with people. And then, once something clicked, then I was like, yes, I love lips now. It's creative. I love the colours. I love the results. So yeah.
Lips, I think everybody thinks they're going to be easy and they're surprisingly difficult until it all falls into place.
Yeah.
And you have to have you think it's just colour theory with eyebrows, but it's not. With lips, you really have got to pull the stops out with lips as well, haven't you? So
yeah, and it's just having that patience, I think, with it and taking your time. That's what, before, originally, when I, like, years ago, I used to rush, I think, when I was doing things, and if it wasn't going in, or I'd be like, oh, what's this going on? But it's just like when you take a step back and you really think about what you're doing, then it just falls into place more.
So have you got any particular go-to colours that you like for lips?
Yes, so I love Shiny Lobster.
Yeah.
I love Kiss Royale, Lavish Lips.
Yeah.
I love all of them.
Yeah.
I like to mix a lot of people. I do use like the nude ones as a base, and then I do like a pop of color, whether it be like Lollipop or or Lobster, or what did I do the other day, or even like Naturally Attractive. Like, that's really nice.
Yes.
I've used that on its own. So yeah, I have a bit of a play and a mix up, and just guide it from there. But I like all of them. There's not one I don't think I've used that I haven't liked.
Yeah. We do have our go-to favourites, don't we? And we're all a little bit different, that we have these go-to favourites that that we like. But you've got this freedom. Sorry, I've got Jasper. Oh, the sun's coming in. Oh, what a shame, the sun's coming in. Is that better, Jasper?
Yeah, it's a bit better. Yes. Better.
Oh no, I'm disappearing.
You don't look like a ghost now.
I wasn't looking like a ghost.
That's fine. That's fine.
Right, sorry. It's not about me anyway, so that's fine. So I was going to say, what have you struggled with most, and how have you overcome it? So would you say lips were at the beginning of this?
Yeah, I think, yes. Originally it was lips, and I think because I didn't probably do enough training at the beginning on it, I think because the course I did was everything together, I think it blows your mind a little bit because you're trying to do all these different techniques, but then when I then focus on each area separately, then I became a lot better. So I then sort of really focused on brows, and then I'd go away and I'd do an eyeliner masterclass. I've done a couple of those as well. Really focused on that, felt confident in that, and then I went and done lips. So I don't know whether I did lips or eyeliner first, but then I would do like loads of models doing that until I felt confident, and then But I think eyeliner, I used to struggle with as well, retention mainly. But I went to Italy and done Will Anthony's class, and then I did Stephanie Tom's class as well. And also what I will add actually is the conferences have really helped, because I've been to the conferences and everyone's done their bits on the stage and stuff, and I got loads of knowledge and stuff from that as well.
Yeah, that's really interesting actually, because conferences are a really good place to learn and also to network a little bit. I mean, you work in a clinic with other people doing permanent makeup, but a lot of people are alone.
Yeah, originally I was alone,
and it can be quite lonely, especially in the early years. And I think the conferences are a great place to sort of meet other people, put faces to names, and learn loads of new stuff.
Yeah, so definitely. I've been to a few, and I would just go on my own. I didn't go with anybody. I stayed in a hotel there, and I just literally went on my own and met loads of people, had such a good time, and learned loads each time I went.
Yeah, the conference in September we're going to miss, unfortunately, because we've got commitments in Goldeneye. It's their 25th birthday. this year. So that's been in the diary for a long time.
25 years.
Yeah, very funny, Jasper. And so we're sad actually, because it's been a long time now since there's been a conference, a UK conference, and I'm a little bit sad to be missing it. However, we can't miss this trip to Germany. But yes, I agree. It's an important point, isn't it? Conferences, and
Yeah.
also, so 2 messages I'm picking up from you, which I think are really valid. One is momentum, so that when you've done some more training on something, you've then absolutely lined up loads more, not models, but clients to then put into practice what you've learned.
Yeah.
And also the fact that you've continued your journey of learning.
Yeah. I have still, throughout the whole 12 years, is it 12 years? Yeah, I think so. Continued. I've always invested and committed myself to it because I was passionate about it. And every time I saw a new person's work that I liked or something like that, I was like, oh, I need to do that. And I just think knowledge, you can't have enough knowledge. You can't, pick up enough techniques. There's always things changing. And if you want to be good and provide a good service, then unfortunately it is a continued thing.
Yeah. And I think if you want to earn a really good income from it,
Yeah.
you need to invest into yourself to be good enough to demand those prices.
Yeah, and you can't expect to be fully booked all the time if you're not doing anything. Like if you can't, this is what I would say when I was doing my beginners training. I would always say to the students that this literally is beginners. This is the first course you're going to go on. Don't think, you can just do this course if you want to, but you will need to go on other courses to perfect your techniques, your skills, your knowledge, because it's too much to take in on one course. It's too much to take in, and you need to keep growing all the time to be successful.
Absolutely. Yes, I couldn't agree more. And I heard a fact, which I don't know if you've heard me say it before, we retain 25% of the information the first time we hear it. So you leave that course and you remember a quarter of what was given to you. And so it's worried me when people have put everything they own into their training and there's no more to come, because to be successful in this, you have got to keep going, haven't you?
Yeah, 100%. And I've done the same with that as what now I've sort of done with my aesthetics as well is, I did the original like long course, and then I've still continued to train and I will still be continuing to train and invest and stuff like that, because it's just so important. You can't just go and do a little bit and then expect a big bit.
No. Yeah, absolutely. No, it is. I mean, that's the constant, the one constant in life is change, isn't it? So it is keeping up to date with everything that's going on. What else was I going to say? So what are your tips for people that are feeling a bit deflated, struggling to get clients, they're not pleased with their work? Well, I can almost guess what your answer is going to be, but
so obviously, as I've said, like it's so important to just invest and choose an artist or some artists that you really like value and like their work and stuff like that, and just keep trying. I know obviously people say, oh, I haven't got the money, but then you're never gonna get anywhere. You're just going to be at the same space where you are. But with things like the PMU circle, like it's so valuable. There's so much on there. Like that wasn't around when I first started.
No.
Like not only have you got the network of everybody, you've got the help of everyone, you've got, the page where you can all chat, but the modules that are on there are invaluable. And even if you only did the PMU circle, like you'd be laughing because there's so much on there that you can learn from.
Yes.
So that would be the main thing. It's just staying consistent. And another thing I think where some people go wrong is they're just constantly doing things for cheap all the time. They're not valuing themselves, what effort they've put into it, the industry, and I think it makes them look like they don't know what they're doing because they're not valuing what they're doing themselves, and then they're getting the wrong clients who just want to pay 50 quid, they just want to pay £100, and it's just not going to get you anywhere. You might as well not do permanent makeup if that's what you're going to do. So it's people's faces, and you're trying to make a difference. You're trying to bring confidence to someone's face that's it's going to be there a long time. So, you know, I just think people undervaluing it. I've never ever done discounts. I've probably pretty much the same price I am now as when I started all them years ago, and people always paid the money. They always came back. They still pay the money. Obviously it's probably gone up about 50 quid, but I've never done any discounts.
No, I have to say I don't discount, but I don't now want to work the hours that I did when I first started either. So I'm quite happy at my age to work a little bit less and charge double what probably a lot of other people in the area charge.
Yeah. It's just working smarter, not harder. Like why would you do it?
Yeah. So
it's draining. Permanent makeup does drain you. If you're trying to do like 10 people in a day, you're just going to be wiped out.
Yes. And you can, yes. I mean, when I started, I was that martini girl, anytime, any place, anywhere. But that was 15, 16 years ago now. And it was, you know, I would be on the road for 7 in the morning. I would be home at 9 o'clock at night. And it would just be, if somebody said jump, it would be how high. And now I want a balance in my life. And obviously, with Goldeneye, I want to be supportive to everybody who needs help, you know, and that's a really, for me, an important part of being part of a distribution network is after everybody. So, we've got 2 minutes. So, so we've got that nice balance, you know, of just seeing a couple of clients a day and then making sure everybody else is okay, and then having a bit of a life as well.
Yes.
But yeah, I'll get there. It doesn't always work out like that, as I was telling you earlier. But right, so 2 minutes. So any questions popped up, Jasper, or people are listening? Okay, I imagine things will come on the replay. Maybe we can put a link to your website for the webinar in the chat afterwards.
Yeah.
You and Jasper can sort that between you.
I'll do that.
Jasper can, yeah, because obviously I wouldn't know how to do that. So any tips or bits to, oh yes, we've done that. So tips and bits. Anything you'd like to share with us before our 30 minutes is up?
I just think people should just always believe in themselves and don't rush. Just take a step back and stay consistent, stay passionate about what you're doing. And if you are struggling, you're not the only person. So there's always reach out to people and try and, you know, grab advice from whoever you can.
Tell you another one. Some people, because I'm absolutely useless at this, is I can't take a photograph. So my work are absolutely terrible, and I just can't find. I don't know. I'm quite arty, but I just can't master this art of photography. And sometimes, for me, I'm confident enough in knowing that my work's okay. But a lot of people probably feel like imposter syndrome, you know, a little bit. What would be your advice to them?
I think don't worry about what other people are doing, because I think that's where there is a lot of people doing permanent makeup. It is hard because you just compare yourself to everybody all the time. And I just think you just need to focus on yourself and I don't know if there are courses or whatever with doing photography, but it's just, I just take 1,000 pictures under loads of different lights. And then obviously I delete all the crap ones and then keep the good ones. But it's just about angles, really.
That is the way to do it. That's the way to do it. And have we gone?
30 minutes. We're finished now, so you can take the place.
We've gone. Oh my God, that was quick. Jenny, thank you. If we haven't been cut off, have we been cut off?
Not yet.
Thank you so much for joining us.
That's all right. It's lovely. Thank you for having me.
Thank you, Jenny. Thank you very much.
Thank you for everybody jumping on and for those that watch on the replay. All right.
See you later. Bye.